January 3, 2026. 2:47 a.m. A blacked-out Chinook helicopter screams through Venezuelan airspace at 180 miles per hour, flying so low the rotor wash shakes palm trees below. Inside, Nicolas Maduro sits zip-tied and blindfolded, wearing nothing but silk pajamas. His hands are trembling. His wife, Celia Flores, is screaming in Spanish beside him. 12 Delta Force operators surround them, weapons trained, faces hidden behind night vision goggles. In exactly 43 minutes, the most wanted narco-terrorist in the Western Hemisphere will land on American soil. But nobody's asking the real question: how did this happen? How do you kidnap a sitting president from inside his own palace? A palace protected by Russian air defense missiles, Cuban intelligence officers, and 50,000 loyal troops. A dictator who hasn't left his country in 3 years because he knows there's a $25 million bounty on his head? This wasn't luck. This wasn't chance. This was 5 years of planning, a $1 billion intelligence operation, and the most daring special operations mission in modern history. What you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about American military power. Because the mission didn't start 3 hours ago. It started 5 years ago with a phone call, a betrayal, and $50 million in cash. But before we begin, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and whether you think this was justice or an act of war. Because this story is going to blow your mind. August 2020. CIA headquarters, Langley, Virginia. An encrypted call comes in from Caracas at 3 a.m. The number is flagged. High priority. Potential asset. The caller speaks in coded Spanish. He's a colonel in Venezuela's Directorate General of Military Counterintelligence. His codename will become Cardinal. And he's been on Maduro's personal security detail for 8 years. He knows everything. Every safe house. Every escape route. Every rotation schedule. Where Maduro sleeps. Where he hides his gold. Where he meets his mistresses. Cardinal is tired. Tired of watching his country collapse while Maduro and his generals fly cocaine to Miami and stack cash in Swiss banks. Tired of watching children starve while the president eats lobster in the palace. He wants out. But he wants something first. $50 million. Immunity for his family. New identities. New lives in America. The CIA agrees immediately. Operation Cardinal becomes the most valuable intelligence asset in South America. For the next 4 years, Cardinal feeds the CIA everything. Maduro's schedule. His security protocols. His health problems. The names of every Chinese intelligence officer operating in Caracas. The locations of hidden bunkers and gold reserves. But in November 2024, Cardinal provides one piece of intelligence that changes everything. Maduro has stage 2 colon cancer. He's getting secret treatments in Havana every 6 weeks. Cuban doctors. Russian medications. Not even his cabinet knows. And here's the critical detail. Every time Maduro flies to Havana, there's a 36-hour window when palace security drops to 40% capacity. Most of his guards go with him or prepare for his return. That intelligence sits on a desk at CIA headquarters for 3 months. Waiting. Waiting for the right moment. The right president. The right order. January 20th, 2025. Trump's second inauguration. That night, during a private dinner at the White House, Trump turns to CIA Director Bill Burns and asks a simple question. Can we get Maduro? Burns doesn't hesitate. He pulls out a folder. Operation Cardinal. 5 years of intelligence. Photos. Documents. Guard rotations. Health records. Flight schedules. Trump reads for 20 minutes. The room is silent except for pages turning. Then Trump looks up. His face is stone cold. He says 3 words. Make it happen. But here's the problem, and this is where it gets complicated. You can't just fly into Venezuela and grab a head of state. This isn't some terrorist hiding in a cave. This is a dictator in the heart of his capital city, surrounded by an army. Venezuela has Russian S-400 air defense systems. Some of the most advanced missiles on Earth. They can shoot down American aircraft from 250 miles away. They have Cuban intelligence embedded in every government ministry, watching, listening, reporting everything back to Havana. They have Chinese surveillance technology monitoring every phone call, every email, every text message in the entire country. One leak. One intercepted communication. One spy who talks. And the mission is over before it starts. Maduro disappears into a bunker, and you'll never find him. So the CIA builds a cover story. They call it Operation Distant Thunder. The official mission: the United States is planning massive military exercises in the Caribbean. Naval drills. Air combat training. A show of force to Cuba and Nicaragua. Completely routine. Completely normal. Nobody suspects it's cover for the largest snatch-and-grab operation in modern history. March 2025. The USS Iwo Jima, a massive amphibious assault ship, deploys to the Caribbean. Official mission: counter-narcotics operations. Stopping drug runners. Supporting Coast Guard operations. Real mission: floating staging base 70 miles north of Venezuela in international waters. On board, members of JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, and the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers, the most elite helicopter pilots on planet Earth. They train in secret, day and night, practicing one mission over and over: penetrate Caracas airspace, extract one target, get out alive. But they're missing one critical thing. They need Maduro to be in Caracas, not hiding in a bunker, not in Havana getting treatment, not surrounded by 500 guards. They need him exposed, vulnerable. And Trump has a plan for that. November 14, 2025. Trump calls Maduro directly. No State Department. No diplomats. No intermediaries. Just Trump on a secure line, speaking to Maduro through a translator. Trump makes an offer. Step down peacefully. Go into exile in Cuba or Russia. Keep your money. Keep your freedom. Live out your life in comfort. Or stay in power and face consequences. Maduro laughs. Actually laughs on the phone. He thinks Trump is bluffing. He tells Trump that Venezuela is a sovereign nation. That America has no authority. That he'll die before he surrenders power. Trump's response is ice cold. We'll see about that. The call ends. 3 days later, that recording is leaked to the press. Every news network plays it. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. Maduro looks weak. He looks scared. So he does exactly what Trump knew he would do. He gives a defiant speech in Caracas. He pounds the podium. He calls Trump an imperialist. He vows to stay in power for life. He rallies his supporters. And that's exactly what Trump wanted. Because now Maduro feels invincible. Now he gets careless. December 2025. CIA surveillance picks up increased activity around Miraflores Palace. Phone intercepts. Satellite imagery. Cardinals reports. Maduro has cancelled his December trip to Havana. Why? Because he's meeting with Chinese diplomats. China is offering Venezuela a $10 billion infrastructure deal in exchange for oil rights and military access. It's the biggest deal of Maduro's presidency. He can't miss it. The meeting is scheduled for January 2, 2026 at Miraflores Palace. After the meeting, Maduro plans to fly to Havana for cancer treatment. But here's what Maduro doesn't know. Cardinal has already told the CIA everything. The exact time Maduro will be in the palace. The fact that his security will be light because most of his guards will be preparing for the Havana trip. And most importantly, Maduro will be sleeping in the palace that night. Not in a bunker. Not in a safe house. In his bedroom. 3rd floor. East wing. That's the window. That's the moment. And on December 31, 2025, New Year's Eve, while Americans count down to midnight, Trump signs the authorization at Mar-a-Lago. Operation Absolute Resolve. Capture Nicolas Maduro. Bring him to American soil. Charge him with narco-terrorism. The mission parameters are crystal clear: capture, not kill. Minimal Venezuelan casualties. 0 American losses. Extraction within 4 hours. And if the mission goes wrong? If operators are captured? Trump has already authorized a full-scale invasion to get them out. 18,000 Marines are standing by in Florida. B-2 bombers are armed and ready. This is not a bluff. But before we get to the actual mission, the breach, the chaos, the 3 hours that changed history, if you're hooked on this story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for WarRoom Intel. We're bringing you the most elite military operations in history, missions that changed the world. We've got breakdowns coming on the Bin Laden raid, Operation Gothic Serpent, the hunt for El Chapo, and operations still partially classified. You won't want to miss them. Now let's get back to Venezuela. Because what happens next is absolutely insane. January 1, 2026. Delta Force receives final briefing aboard the USS Iwo Jima. The team leader is an operator codenamed Hatchet. 22 years in special operations. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Somalia. If anyone can pull this off, it's Hatchet. His team, 40 operators total. 12 will breach the palace. 8 will provide sniper overwatch. 20 will secure the perimeter and extraction point. Every operator has studied three-dimensional models of Miraflores Palace for 6 months. They know every hallway, every staircase, every window, every exit. They've rehearsed the breach 157 times at a replica facility in North Carolina built specifically for this mission. They know the operation down to the second. But everyone knows the truth: no plan survives first contact. And nobody knows what will happen when boots hit the ground in Caracas. January 2, 2026. 11 a.m. Caracas time. Maduro meets with Chinese envoy Li Jiang at Miraflores Palace. They discuss oil contracts, infrastructure investments, military cooperation. The meeting lasts 3 hours. By 2 p.m. it's over. Maduro is in a good mood. He's just secured $10 billion for Venezuela. He feels untouchable. That night, he celebrates with a private dinner. Celia Flores is with him, his closest advisors. They drink wine. They laugh. By 11 p.m., the advisors leave. By midnight, the palace is quiet. Maduro goes to bed. He has no idea that 70 miles north, on the USS Iwo Jima, 40 Delta Force operators are gearing up right now. Night vision goggles. Suppressed 416 Hong Kong dollars rifles. Breaching charges. Flex cuffs. Tactical medical kits. Every piece of equipment checked 3 times. At the exact same time, 6 F-22 Raptor stealth fighters launch from Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. They arrive over Venezuelan airspace by 10 p.m., flying at 40,000 feet. Completely invisible to radar. Their mission, the moment the operation starts, take out Venezuela's air defense network. S-400 batteries. Radar installations. Command centers. Without air defenses, Venezuela is blind. Meanwhile, a CIA Reaper drone circles Caracas at 25,000 feet. Thermal imaging cameras watch Miraflores Palace. Every heat signature mapped. Guard rotations confirmed. And there he is, 3rd floor, East Wing, bedroom. 1 heat signature. Maduro. Asleep. The window is open. January 3, 2026. 12:30 a.m. USS Iwo Jima's flight deck roars to life. 6 MH-47 Chinooks spin up their rotors. 8 MH-60 Blackhawks prepare for launch. 4 AH-6 Little Bird gunships load rockets. 40 Delta Force operators board the helicopters. No talking. Only hand signals. Hatchet looks at his team. These are the best soldiers America has ever produced. Men who've trained their entire lives for missions like this. He gives one final order. Bring everyone home. 1 a.m. Launch. The Armada lifts off, flying south toward Venezuela. Low altitude. 150 feet above the black water of the Caribbean. No lights. No radio chatter. Total silence. F-22s orbit overhead. 3 Navy destroyers stand by in case Venezuela's Navy tries to intervene. 1:45 a.m. The helicopters cross into Venezuelan waters. Still no detection. Venezuelan radar operators are watching their screens, but they see nothing. The helicopters are flying too low, hugging the waves. By the time Venezuelan air defense picks up the signal, it will be too late. 1:58 a.m. 2 minutes to strike. F-22s receive the execute order. They fire. AGM-88 HARM missiles streak toward Venezuelan radar installations across Caracas. 12 radar sites go dark in 9 seconds. Venezuela's air defense network is blind. Nobody in Caracas knows what's coming. 2 a.m. Caracas erupts. Explosions rock Fuerte Tayuna military base. Massive fireballs light up the night sky. Explosions at Generalissimo Francisco de Miranda Air Base. Explosions at La Guaira Port. But these aren't invasion strikes. They're diversions. Tomahawk cruise missiles launch from Navy destroyers offshore, hitting ammunition depots and fuel storage facilities. No casualties. Just noise. Fire. Chaos. Venezuelan military scrambles. Troops rush toward the bases thinking it's a full-scale American invasion. Air raid sirens wail across the city. Civilians think war has started. They flee to shelters, basements, subway tunnels. Maduro's palace guard rushes toward the explosions to help defend the bases. And that's exactly what the Americans want. Because while every Venezuelan soldier is looking at the fires on the horizon, nobody is watching the palace. 2:03 a.m. 6 Chinooks scream across Caracas airspace at 180 miles per hour, flying 120 feet above the buildings. The rotor wash shakes windows. Car alarms go off across the city. Civilians look up, terrified. Black helicopters. American helicopters. Venezuelan Air Force tries to scramble jets from Valencia Air Base 100 miles away. But it's too late. F-22s are already overhead. Venezuelan pilots receive a radio warning in Spanish. Return to base or you will be destroyed. Missile lock warnings light up their cockpits. They turn back. 2:07 a.m. Lead Chinook reaches Miraflores Palace. The palace is a massive colonial-era building in the center of Caracas, surrounded by walls, guard towers. Normally, 200 soldiers protect it. Tonight, because of the diversionary explosions, only 40 guards remain. They're confused, disorganized, looking toward the fires. Nobody's watching the sky. 2:08 a.m. Fast ropes drop from the Chinook. 12 Delta operators slide down onto the palace roof in 8 seconds. 2 palace guards hear the rotor noise. They turn. Look up. See the helicopter. Too late. Suppressed gunfire. 2 shots each. The guards drop silently. The operators move like shadows, breaching the rooftop access door in 4 seconds. Stairwell. Night vision turns the darkness into green light. They descend. 3rd floor. East wing. Maduro's bedroom. Intel says he's alone with his wife. 2 guards outside the door. 2:10 a.m. Operators reach the 3rd floor hallway. 2 guards standing outside Maduro's bedroom see shapes moving in the darkness. They raise their rifles. Suppressed shots drop them before they can fire. They collapse without making a sound. The operators move fast. They've trained for this exact moment 157 times. Muscle memory. No hesitation. 2:12 a.m. They reach Maduro's bedroom door. Solid mahogany. Reinforced steel frame. Built to withstand attacks. An operator places a shape-breaching charge on the hinges. 3-second countdown. The explosion is muffled but powerful. The door blows inward. Smoke fills the room. Inside, Nicolas Maduro sits up in bed, confused, disoriented. Celia Flores screams. Two operators rush in. One yanks Maduro out of bed by his arm, slams him face first onto the marble floor. Flex cuffs around his wrists. Tight. Cutting into his skin. Maduro's face goes pale. His eyes go wide. He realizes what's happening. "You can't do this! I am the president of Venezuela!" The operator doesn't respond. Doesn't say a word. He just lifts Maduro like a suitcase and moves toward the door. Celia Flores is screaming, hitting the operators. They restrain her gently but firmly. Flex cuffs. She's coming too. 2:14 a.m. Operators move Maduro and Celia Flores toward the stairwell. Down 2 flights. Out onto the roof. A Chinook hovers overhead, rotors screaming, wind like a hurricane. Fast ropes drop. Operators clip Maduro into a harness. He's lifted into the sky, kicking, screaming curses in Spanish. Celia Flores is next. She's silent now. In shock. By 2:16 a.m., all operators are aboard. Extraction complete. The Chinook banks hard, nose down, flying north at maximum speed. Venezuelan forces finally realize what happened. Palace guards run back from the military bases. They're too late. Fighter jets scramble from Valencia Air Base. Su-30 fighters, Russian-made, fast and deadly. But F-22s intercept them immediately. A Venezuelan pilot sees his missile warning light up. An American F-22 has locked onto him. One button press and he's dead. He receives another radio warning. Turn back now. He turns back. No shots fired. 2:34 a.m. The helicopters cross into international waters. Venezuelan missiles can't reach them. They're safe. Inside the Chinook, Maduro sits on the floor, zip-tied, blindfolded. He's muttering in Spanish. Prayers. Curses. Threats. The operators ignore him. Mission accomplished. 3:18 a.m. The Chinooks land on the USS Iwo Jima. Maduro is pulled out, still in his silk pajamas, still zip-tied. DA agents are waiting. FBI agents photograph him from every angle. Document everything. A Navy medic checks his vitals. Blood pressure elevated. Heart rate 120 beats per minute. But he's healthy. He'll stand trial. 3:45 a.m. Maduro is placed in a holding cell on the ship. Steel walls. Fluorescent lights. A bench bolted to the floor. He sits with his head in his hands. 30 minutes ago, he was the president of Venezuela. Now he's a prisoner. Celia Flores is in a separate cell, crying. She keeps asking to see her husband. They don't let her. 4:30 a.m. Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez appears on state television. His voice is shaking. His face is pale. He calls it an invasion. An act of war. He declares a national emergency. Mobilizes the military. Demands Maduro's immediate return. But nobody's listening. Russia issues a statement condemning the operation. China protests. The United Nations calls for an emergency meeting. But Maduro is gone. And he's not coming back. 5:47 a.m. A C-17 Globemaster transport plane takes off from the USS Iwo Jima. Destination: Homestead Air Force Base, Florida. Maduro is aboard, now wearing an orange jumpsuit. Hands cuffed. Feet shackled. He stares out the small window as the sun rises over the Caribbean. The sky turns pink, then orange, then blue. He's silent now. No more threats. No more curses. Just silence. 8:15 a.m. The C-17 lands in Florida. Maduro is transferred to a federal detention facility in Miami. Fingerprinted. Photographed. Processed like any other criminal. By 9 a.m., he's sitting in a cell. Concrete walls. Steel bed. Toilet in the corner. The man who controlled billions of dollars in drug money. The man who starved his own people while he ate lobster. Now he's prisoner number 26437. 11 a.m. Trump holds a press conference at Mar-a-Lago. He's wearing a dark suit, red tie, American flag pin on his lapel. He looks directly into the camera. Last night, American forces conducted a precision operation to apprehend Nicolas Maduro, a man responsible for flooding American streets with cocaine, for torturing his own people, for stealing billions of dollars while Venezuelans starved. He thought he was untouchable. He was wrong. This operation was flawless. 0 American casualties. Maduro is now in federal custody and will face trial. Let this be a message to every dictator, every terrorist, every criminal who thinks they can hide from American justice. You can't. We will find you. We will get you. And you will answer for your crimes. The room erupts with questions. Reporters shouting. Trump smiles. Walks off the stage. Mission accomplished. 2 p.m. Maduro appears in federal court in Miami. He's wearing the orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed in front of him. His lawyer, a public defender, stands beside him. The judge reads the charges. Narco-terrorism. Conspiracy to import 5,000 kilograms of cocaine into the United States. Money laundering. Crimes against humanity. Maduro pleads not guilty. The judge denies bail. The defendant is a flight risk and a danger to the community. Maduro is remanded to federal custody. Trial date set for June 2026. As Maduro is led out of the courtroom, reporters shout questions. Do you have anything to say? Maduro stops, looks at the cameras, and for the first time since his capture he speaks. This is illegal. I am the president of Venezuela. The United States has no jurisdiction. This is kidnapping. This is an act of war. The guards pull him away. The courtroom doors close. By the end of January 3rd, Venezuela is in chaos. The military doesn't know who's in charge. Pedro Lopez tries to assume control, but rival generals challenge him. Protests erupt in Caracas. Some Venezuelans celebrate Maduro's capture, dancing in the streets, waving flags. Others riot, calling it American imperialism, throwing rocks at police. The country teeters on the edge of civil war. Russia and China condemn the operation. They issue statements. They complain to the United Nations. But they don't intervene. Because they know the truth. If they try to rescue Maduro, if they send troops or ships or planes, America will respond with overwhelming force. And nobody wants that war. 3 months later, Venezuela holds elections. Free elections. Real elections. A new government takes power, committed to rebuilding the country, restoring democracy, ending the drug trafficking that defined the Maduro years. Maduro sits in his cell, watching it all on a small TV. His trial approaches. The man who thought he was untouchable learned the hardest lesson: nobody is beyond reach. For more stories of elite special operations that changed history, subscribe to WarRoom Intel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown. What operation should we cover next? The Bin Laden raid? The hunt for El Chapo? Operation Gothic Serpent? Let us know in the comments. This was Operation Absolute Resolve. The day Delta Force proved that when America decides to act, no dictator, no matter how powerful, is safe.